you are wanting to start your own lingerie brand, here's the thing. If you've got the idea in your head, I don't think it will ever leave you. I have been teaching lingerie design now for the past 15 years, and what I have found is when I get clients come in, they're like, oh, I've sat on an idea for 7 years. They've thought about it for 7 years and it's never left them. My name is Laurie Van Jansen, and today I'm going to talk to you about my journey into lingerie design and how I can help you become the best lingerie designer you can be. Now, I started my career, I went to university and I studied lingerie design at De Montfort University in Leicester, and I loved the fact that, in the first year we made a shirt and we made a bra. I love the fact that your patterns could be so small, I could just do it on this piece of a table rather than having to go to the floor or big tables to cut it out. And there was something to me that was so special about the fact that you're wearing something no one can see and it can alter your whole day and how you feel about yourself, which to me clothes can do. But within lingerie design, I love the technical side, I love the designing elements, so that is the path I took. I then went to design for a UK manufacturer. I literally turned up with my portfolio. I looked for all the ones that were local around to me and I went round to them, hello, and literally was there. I wanted to show them my portfolio, what I could do for them, and to see if they had any work or any jobs or even work experience. One factory said come back in 6 months, we're thinking of going into t-shirt wear. So I then changed my portfolio for children's wear in t-shirts and soft separates and ended up getting a job part-time there. They had a studio for lingerie and swimwear, then I was in the studio designing outerwear for children's t-shirts. I would nip into that studio with lingerie design, offer to do extra work, extra time, and eventually I moved from the outerwear studio into the underwear studio. It was there I learned so much from those above me in grading, in design. I used to walk through the factory and learn all there was about that. I learned about the costings, how much it cost to get like a certain stitch through the factory. I literally picked everyone's brain who would talk to me about design. I always wanted to go travelling, so I left in 2003. I've been working there a couple of years, left in 2003, bought a one-way ticket to Thailand, and with that I took my sketchbook and swimwear samples that I wore out there. I ended up doing diving, going to be a dive master, and then on an island on Koh Tao there was a swimwear shop which only sold Thai size swimwear, which I couldn't get past my thighs. And I spoke to the woman who was running this shop and told her I could design her all swimwear in UK sizes. So she drew a whole load out. I went to Bangkok factory, sourced the fabrics, hand graded everything, passed everything over to her, and got a job designing for this store. Upon returning to the UK, I ended up in Belfast. Knew I wanted to launch my own brand at that point, working for this swimwear shop in Thailand. I thought if I can do it there, where I know not the language, where I have no contacts, I really wanted to design my own brand. I had spent times travelling on and off planes, and I'm a 30E, and there was no soft bras in cup sizes, so I would have to unclip my bra to get on the plane if I wanted to sleep for a bit of comfort, re-clip it back up when I went to the toilet. And I there thought I wanted to do an own soft bra in styles that weren't beige, and ended up launching my own brand in Belfast in 2005. Originally it was meant to be in 2004, but the factory I was working with went bust and took all my patterns, all my stuff, everything. My top tip would be, and I still do this today, is give yourself a time limit. Then when it was in the September, I thought if I can't launch this brand within a year, I'm going to go back to England, I'm going to go back, get a job with a different company. And because I'd given myself that time limit, I then didn't procrastinate. anything that came up, I had to make a decision like this because I only had the time to do it. I'm going to go this style, I'm going to learn how to make that pattern, I'm going to grade this bra. And it was simple things like, oh, I'm going to go with Princess Trust to try get some money, try get a grant. And back then I could talk myself out of a lot, going, oh, do I want to do that? Do I want to be in that debt? Or does this shop really want my designs? Do I ring them? Oh, they haven't got any other bra sizes above a C cup. They've only got below. They won't want me in there. And because I only had a year to do everything, I then cut that noise out. So it was very proactive to have a time limit. And that's not to say when the time's up that you go, oh, I haven't hit my goal, that's it, I'm closing everything down. You then reassess it. If you aren't anywhere close and you're like, literally my heart's not in this and I'm not earning any money, then you know you've given it your full shot because you've not procrastinated along the way. If you're like so close, you know, I didn't hit my goal but I'm there, we're on the upward, and then that's your decision to either stop or keep going. Within a year I got an order. So I started in September. By August I'd got a nearly 4,000 order with Topshop. They took all my designs. I went to see them, took this next seasons ahead, and they were like, we'd launch this season, which I hadn't done. So I was like, oh, I'm going flying back to Belfast within 3 days, I'll send you it all across. Reality was I flew back that night, I made all the samples, made sure I had all the fabrics, and then sent photos of that current style, that current season, and then they placed an order with that. They'd seen the samples previously in the other ones. I used the same sort of fabrics but in a different print, so they felt the quality of everything. Then they placed an order for that season. So my brand ran on for 5 years. Within that time I became very knowledgeable on patterns, on sewing, on marketing my brand, on going to see buyers, on grading everything. I went up to a double F cup. Whilst designing and everything, I then started to get a few questions, and this is a book that came out, How to Be a Lingerie Designer, and because I started to notice everyone asking me the same sort of questions, so I wrote this book for you, for factories, online resources, designing mood boards, sketching trends. And then at the back there's all interviews with designers that have started where you are, wanting to launch their own brand or get into lingerie design, and it's all questions I give to them, so you get inspiration to keep going and have their point of view on lingerie design. Whilst writing that book, I thought it was only going to take me about 6 months. 3 years later I get the first copy, which was back then this one here. So that was the first copy of that book. So I then got sponsorship to go work in Australia, and I make that sound so casually like I went and just did it. I knew I wanted to go work in Australia. I'd looked at getting my working visa at the age of 30. I think you can only get it at 31, or you used to be able to. So I went to go get my visa. It all ran out because I didn't save enough money to get a flight over there. I then looked at all the companies in Australia I wanted to work with, and that included like Burley in Sydney and Andorra, which is the one I finally got to work with. And I emailed them over all my portfolio, my CV. There was only one that got back to me and said, you're not technical enough to come work for us. And I was like, hang on a minute, I think I am. And I literally emailed them back and went through point by point of why I thought I would be able to work for them. Nothing came of it. However, 6 months later there was a advertisement for a job, which was the same company I had emailed back stating, I think you'll find I am technical enough to work for you. And I ended up getting an interview in London. I flew from Belfast to London, got the job, went out for a month's trial, so I had to quit my job on a real like, I'm just going to do it. If I don't get it, I can just get another job in a shop. And ended up getting the job, got sponsored, they paid for me to fly over, and I ended up working over there for over a year. And then I came back to the UK and opened up this company, Van Janssen Design, where I became a consultant for companies or for individuals wanting to launch their own brand or to work within a company freelancing. I had no plans to launch my own consultancy when I came back. I looked into going into teaching. I had interviews for lingerie design jobs. By then I'd got a 3-month-old and realised a 2-hour commute there and back, so there was no working from home in those days, was not viable. So that's what kind of pushed me to go and carry on writing. My next book was Anatomy of a Bra. I then wrote how to spec, tech and grade your lingerie. So all the technical side I wish I had learned whilst I was learning lingerie design. So if you are wanting to launch your own brand, I would start with, what can I do today? What can I do now? And it could be read my books, it could be read another lingerie designer's books, it could be booking yourself in a course, it could be emailing me with some questions on where to go next, what to do. I could wax lyrical all day about lingerie design. I love it. I love helping people. I love it when people have a idea but don't have the experience to launch their own brand, and I can do all the technical drawings for you. I can do all the design work. I can do all the tech packs. If you are wanting to do lingerie design, I would, like anything that you wish to do, research into it, try a little bit, and you might find, actually no, it's not for me, or I want to do it but I just want to design and make my own lingerie. Or it could be, I've got this great idea, I want to go to a factory, I want to launch my own brand. However you do it, I would love to hear from you. Please do get in contact, and even if it's just like a little update of what you're doing, or if I can be of any more help, then please go to my website, vanjanssendesign.com, and there's lots of free resources there so you can begin your own journey. PS, end of January I am running a masterclass called How to Be a Lingerie Designer, and I will go through for you all the points, all the insights, places like where I got my money. You will see like past orders, how I did it all, more in depth than this chat now, and I hope to see you there, because then hopefully that will bring you insight for you to begin your journey.